Welcome back into Clipper Stock. I'm Adam Osland. Good to be with you guys. Did I set this up correctly here? You know what? Let me check my settings. Am I a dumb? Okay, I got it. Not a dumbass today. Lawrence Frank is currently speaking with the media regarding signing CP3 back with the Clippers. So I thought I would bring you guys some quotes coming out from La Murray, who's on the Zoom call, Justin Russo, who's on the Zoom call. Let's see, we start with this. Lawrence Frank said Chris Paul was a natural fit. Says there will be nights that Chris Paul will play a lot and nights where he will not. Lawrence Frank stresses that there were a lot of conversations with Chris and his camp about role and expectations, citing delicate chemistry when a team with this many real dudes are in the same locker room. Talked about one of the strengths of CP3, who had a 7-to-1 assist to turnover ratio last year. Lawrence Frank said, quote, "We were at our best when we took care of the ball." Yes. If you look at the splits from last season, let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. They were turning the ball over about 16 times per game pre All-Star break. And then as, Kawhi Leonard really got back to looking more and more like himself, that ended up going down significantly post All-Star break. Let me find that number of how many assists they had. Yes, NBA stupid as traditional stats. Okay. Post All-Star break, the Clippers they were third best, just 13 turnovers. So they cut it down by 3. CP3 can help in that department. Of course, he is one of the greatest ball handlers, playmakers we have ever seen, who maybe his greatest strength is taking care of the basketball. Lawrence Frank, quote, "We'll probably have a 9-man rotation, but you have 11 quality players. The 3 guys to me that could be out on any given night would be CP3, Bogey, and Batum. Those are players 9, 10, and 11 in my mind." But Lawrence Frank also talked about how this was the Bradley Beal presser, how Coach Lou usually goes with a 9-man rotation. Lawrence Frank mentioned that James Harden played 79 games. Vita Zubats played 80 games last season. Hoped to get another season like that, but had to reinforce those positions given the likelihood both players would need more relief. I think that's smart. Be preemptive about it, because you just don't know that James Harden's going to be able to go all but 3 games again. That's a pretty we talk about all the bad luck with the Clippers' health all the time, but they actually had some good fortune in some ways. Outside of Kawhi only playing 37 games last season, they had some good fortune with health. I know Norm had an injury, but James Harden being that reliable for 79 games, I don't know if you can see that happening again. You got to bring in some reinforcements. Lawrence Frank mentioned the return the Clippers got from the Rockets in 2017 that helped the Clippers stay afloat when Chris Paul could have opted out and bounced, leaving the Clippers with nothing. I'll bring you, this was kind of a chart put together showing you the sequence of events from La Murray. He put this up yesterday, just what CP3 ended up bringing to the Clippers in that trade and everything from the beginning and how they got CP3. It's a great chart. La Murray, of course, best of the best at La Murray DNU. So Al-Farouq Aminu, Eric Gordon, Chris Kaman, they brought in CP3. CP3 then turns into Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams. And then where do these guys turn into? Lou Williams goes to Atlanta. Patrick Beverly leaves. I can't even read some of this, but it ends up being and them getting Robert Covington and Norman Powell. That was in the Keon Johnson trade. That also gave up Eric Bledsoe. And that somehow ends up turning into James Harden. Yeah, it's complicated, but check it out. At La Murray, the NU, if you want to check out that chart. Chris Paul is wearing number 3. What number is Bradley Beal wearing, according to Lawrence Frank? To be determined. Agree with you guys talking about Tim Legler. And Tim Legler, I trust. I see Ray in here. I see you guys in the chat. I'm just going through this. So Law Murray asked Lawrence Frank about Jordan Miller and Amir Coffey. Miller was waived before performing Summer League. Coffey is an unrestricted free agent after playing 1,700 plus minutes and making 100 plus threes at 40% this past year. Frank clear about the roster crunch while acknowledging both players. So I'm guessing he gave them their due, but it doesn't seem like while they have, I think, 14 spots, so they have one roster spot open. We will know what happens with that. Oh, here's Lawrence Frank on that. Quote, "We do have one roster spot open, but we are very, very tight to the first apron, which we can't exceed." There you go. Again, Bradley Beal undecided on what number he will wear. Bradley Beal volunteered that CP3 got jersey number 3. He understands what the jersey means to Chris, and him having worn it with the Clippers before. That's good to see. Already guys buying in, sacrificing. Let's see. Lawrence Frank said that Chris Paul talked with him about how important it is that he's seen how committed the Clippers are to winning, especially under Steve Ballmer. There will be nights Chris plays a lot. There will be nights he does not. And then going back to how Lawrence started things off, he said, quote, "He wanted to return to the Clippers, and we wanted the same as long as it made sense with our current roster, and it does." Let's see, what else do we got here? Is Tomer Azarli on the Zoom call? I would assume so. I'll pull up what quotes he has coming out as well. Nothing after he talked about Bradley Beal so far, and not knowing what jersey number he's going with, because CP3 will be CP3, which means we got 2-1-3 back in effect. Kawhi the 2, Uno, James Harden the 1, and CP3 wearing number 3 again in a Clippers uniform again. What else do we got here? Let's see. Again, this is Lawrence Frank speaking with the media. This is just happening right now on a Zoom call. So I'm figuring this out as we go along. Lawrence Frank said, quote, "The goal is to get this team as good as we can possibly get it, regardless of age." Some people are still complaining about the age of the team, and it's like, do you want to get younger or do you want to get better? Because those two things don't always connect. They typically don't. If you're getting younger, typically you're worse. Because, yes, there are certain young players that can obviously make you much better, but they're not exactly available in free agency or in trades. Teams aren't giving them up. If you're playing young players and you're the Clippers, you're probably taking a risk of not being as competitive. Like, getting younger is cool. Getting better is preferred. They're trying to compete. They have no reason not to. They don't have their picks. This season, don't even have a pick swap. OKC owns their 2026 pick straight up. Let's see what else we got here. Mike Dang said the key to an older team is to stack as many good players as possible. That's well said. What you need is kind of a revolving door of older players to keep one another fresh. So one in, one out. You're staggering guys. CP3 is not playing every night. Kawhi's not going to be playing every night. Bradley Beal's not going to be playing every night. But together, hopefully they can make up for their absence because they have a talented guy who's now fresher because he didn't play the last game. So when one guy is not playing, it means there's an older guy in for him, but maybe he has more in the tank because he didn't play the game prior. Yeah, as I said before in a tweet last night, and some people are saying, put this on a shirt. I'll just show you the tweet because it is kind of funny. I was responding to Justin Wilson at Clippers Film. Tuka thinks it's her show all the time. So Justin Wilson, he was commenting about the age issue that people are bringing up, and it's real, of course. That is the biggest flaw of this team. But he said, in the NBA, you rarely get the chance to choose how you get better. And that's what's being lost in the Clippers ageism convo. Like, they didn't set out to be the oldest team ever. But are you saying no to a still good Brook Lopez instead of Bamba Kai Jones because he's old? It's like, what would you rather have? A younger Mo Bamba or Kai Jones or Brook Lopez? You'd rather have Brook Lopez. Them being younger does not overcome the skill and talent gap between them. So then I said, getting younger is cool, but getting better is better. Yeah, real modern day philosopher with that one, Adam. I'm just trying to simplify it for you guys. You can't always have it all. But I think this Clippers team optimizes and has optimized the lineup this summer with everything they've done to the best of their abilities, considering the salary cap restrictions, considering who was available. I think this is a pretty damn good team, and they're under the first apron. They have a team that can compete, and they stayed under the first apron. They had to keep a full mid-level exception. Okay, Lawrence Frank said this. This will be interesting to many. Quote, "You're never quite finished, but we feel extremely excited about the roster we put together." There you go. I don't anticipate any more big moves coming. I know some of you are talking about Bogdan Bogdanovic. Is there redundancy there? Do they really need him? I think they can really use him because of his shooting. Again, he shot 43% from three in his 30 games once he got to the Clippers, even after a really slow start. Yes, he was bad in the playoff series, bad matchup, and he looked way too amped up and was pressing and didn't hit a shot till game three. It was bad. But he's been good in the playoffs in the past. He was just super clutch for Serbia against Team USA and almost knocked them out in the Olympics. He had like 22 in that game. You could argue he's better than Jokic. He has been a big game guy before, so I was surprised that he played so poorly against Denver. I still think Bogdan Bogdanovic can be valuable to this team. And he is a great asset to keep around because he's $16 million expiring. And if you need to make an adjustment later, or you see, oh, this team is flawed in this area, you have someone that you can dangle as an expiring contract and make a move. Why make a move now? Let's see what they have. I just don't anticipate anything major happening. We'll see about Jordan Miller, but it's looking unlikely that he's going to be back with the Clippers. And Lawrence Frank just said it. They got 14 guys on the roster. They're dangerously close to the first apron. They can't go over it. They're hard capped there. So they're probably going to go into the season with 14 guys, is my guess, of the 15-man roster. Anything else we got here? Checking Rousseau. Checking Law Murray. At Law Murray, the NU. Rousseau's at Fly By Night, KNITE. Tomer Azarly is at TOMERAZARLY. I'll check out Joey Lynn. So we got some great reporters with this team. Joey Lynn commented about Lawrence Frank saying CP3 is wearing number 3. Bradley Beal has not decided on his number yet. What do you guys think Bradley Beal should wear? 33? 23? What number should Bradley Beal go with? What jersey would you like to wear of Bradley Beal's? Okay. The Clippers are expected to reintroduce Chris Paul next week. So it looks like there's going to be a reintroductory press conference for CP3. Legacy player with the Clippers coming back for his final season. I was kind of wondering about that. We'll have that covered here on Clippers Talk when it goes down. And make sure. Yeah, I do have to work some days next week. It should work out, right, Adam? I'm excited about that. Sometimes I'm like, should I go? Or should I just stream it and react to it? Probably get more out of that. And I'll be there at media day to ask questions. Anything else? Yeah, I want to hear from CP3, to be honest. This is good. Okay, you guys are giving some ideas for Bradley Beal. Some are saying number 20. Some are saying number 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that signify he's the 4th option? It doesn't go like that. Harden, I don't think is number 1. I think number 2 is number 1. I don't think number 3 is the 3rd option. CP3. BB8 says Ray, not 13. Sarah said 0 for Bradley Beal. Urban Figure number 6 or 20. Tim A said they should have fans at the CP introduction. Why is BB8 funny? What am I missing? Ray said perfect opportunity to use Jay-Z as his entrance song. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Chris. Damien said the hardest working man in sports media is back. Hit the like button for Big A. Yeah, like and subscribe. I don't say that enough. I feel like I'm being counterculture by not saying it. Ooh, they have a better chance of subscribing to my channel, or they might do it if I don't say it because they're probably so annoyed with so many other YouTubers saying it all the time. Probably a net negative with this approach of mine. It's really just being forgetful. It's not something I think about. BB8 for sure. 33 says Mio. Mike Dang said, got to go with the Star Wars reference. BB8. Is that new Star Wars? I'm thinking of IG88. Oh, that's the little rolling soccer ball thing. Yeah. Fuck the 7, 8, and 9 series. I said episode 7 sucked day 1. It still sucks. Now a lot of people have come around on that. Like, you know what? It actually wasn't very good. It kind of just seemed like a redo of A New Hope. I never even watched episode 9. after 8. I was like, I'm out. Now we do have Mandalorian. The first 2 seasons were good. I haven't seen season 3. Rogue One's great. I haven't seen Andor yet. I hear that's great. You guys really want fans there for the CP3 introduction. It's not the worst idea. They might have to put them at center court. They'd be able to fill up into a dome for that event. Really cool. Reunited and it feels so good. Anything else coming out from Lawrence Frank here? I don't see anything yet. BB-8 is the best part of the new trilogy. Low bar, as that thing is rolling on the ground. Sarah said, hammer the over for 48.5 wins. That's what they got as the over-under. Tim Bontemp said, we're going to be a top 3 seed and dominate the regular season, and I agree. Deep team. I agree they could be. BB-8 is the only somewhat positive part of the new trilogy. It's so bad. I don't know. You know how many people said episode 7 was good and like Star Wars was back when it first came out? And I was like, what? This was awful. And now everybody seems to be universally saying that. Yeah. It's actually in some ways, I think, worse than the prequels, guys. Because the prequels don't have Han Solo and a shitty performance there, or Luke Skywalker in it, or Carrie Fisher in it, RIP. Like, they aren't damaging to those original characters. 7, 8, 9 are. Clippers Rockets, Western Conference Finals, says generational hater. Who's not a Clippers fan. He's a fan of hating. Hate. The hater rate is strong with this one. Since we're talking Star Wars. Is anything else happening? Maybe that was the last thing Lawrence Frank said. The LA Clippers are expected to reintroduce Chris Paul next week. Okogie to the Rockets. Did that? I haven't been paying attention. Like anything outside of, okay, I just saw that. Shams Charania. Josh Okogie going to the Rockets. Rockets loading up. I mean, it's a nice pickup for veteran minimum. And the Rockets, they were the second best team record-wise last year. People forget that. Before KD. I mean, what? Good defender, but, geez, he played a total of 40 games last season. He's not a good three-point shooter. He shoots 30% from three for his career. I feel like his name is bigger than the game. But, yeah, they're good defensively, man. They're really tough on that end. You guys are all freaking out about it. Josh Okogie, the guy who scored 6 points a game. Look, it's no disrespect. It's just it doesn't move the needle significantly. A lot of their other moves have. Dorian Finney-Smith, Kevin Durant, moving on from Jalen Green, which I think they wanted to do. So good for the Rockets. They looked stacked. Rockets, Denver, Clippers really loaded up. Lakers made some solid moves too. I'm interested to see how Marcus Smart looks. I would love to hate on the Lakers and their moves, but I can't totally. Now, they lost Dorian Finney-Smith, but because of that, they brought in Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and DeAndre Ayton. Taylor said, I think we're way better than the Rockets. The Rockets were second in the West last year without Kevin Durant. They're really good. I don't see how you could say the Clippers are way better than the Rockets. If you want to say, I think they're slightly better, I could get on board with that. but let's not go crazy. It's funny how people are now saying, is Lawrence Frank the best GM in the NBA? A lot of people are talking shit. Make the apology as loud as the disrespect was. Give L. Frank his flowers. A lot of YouTube guys were talking a lot of junk about Lawrence Frank. Where y'all at? Hey, what happened? I did post this. This was early in free agency, and it seems even more appropriate now. I'm going to show you guys the clip pertaining to this subject right now. I think it's funny. The Lawrence Frank haters have gone into hiding. You're not hearing anything from them now, not a peep. And I'm like, this is me watching the Lawrence Frank haters leaving.
Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going? Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going? Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going?
If you know me, I've been a fan for some time. I made these little graphics of him cooking last summer. He had a good offseason last summer, adjusting to losing Paul George beautifully. So, Johnny come latelys when it comes to Lawrence Frank. It's not like he wasn't the executive of the year in 2020 or anything. Lawrence Frank has only been a victim of bad circumstances with injury luck not going their way. You can't control that stuff. Otherwise, they have a championship in 2021. We all believe that. Non-Clippers fans believe that they were the best team. And nobody is talking about, oh, they lost the trade. Had Kawhi not done his ACL during their 2021 run. Tell me how that's Lawrence Frank's fault. The stuff within his control, he's been great with. You can go after the drafting. It's like, cool. You know how hard it is to draft well at the either end of the first round or end of the second round, because those are the only picks they have had. It's really difficult. Again, the drafting woes his entire tenure. He drafted SGA. And they get really bad late draft picks because they're always good, or they don't get any because OKC owns them. The chances of you hitting on those late first round draft picks or late second round draft picks are very, very slim. It's like a 90% chance they're not going to become anything. Would I wave and stretch Kobe to bring back coffee? No, probably not, but I like Amir coffee. I do. A shitty situation of his own making, because what? He did a trade that every other GM in the history of basketball would do. Trade a guy who wasn't even like a top rookie his year in SGA. Like, I'm so tired of hearing the same thing. Like, every GM is doing that at that time for a guy who just won Finals MVP in his prime, and Paul George, who was top 3 and Defensive Player of the Year. Do I need to play the video again? Go look in the video section. I got the SGA receipts for you guys. Guys, no one knew. Yes, you can, because no one knew SGA would ever be that good. All-star, we all said, yes, he could be an all-star. Could be. Not MVP level, and he doesn't get there if he doesn't go to the team in the OKC Thunder where he could lose and be the number 1 option and get all those reps and also get that season with CP3. The circumstances, the context, it all plays a role. People were not saying SGA was going to be an MVP. And most people said all-star. He could be. Y'all are crazy. That guy averaged 10 points per game his rookie year. I got a long memory on this. You know what? I guess I got to play the video again. I guess I got to play it because you're not listening. I can tell you what the conversation was. I got the receipts. y'all should know this by now. I don't know why people want to test me when it comes to receipts. I remember how people talked about it the day it happened. I was there. I did a 3-hour Clippers talk show on AM 570 that day, and nobody called in and said we shouldn't have done it. So here you go.
And I understand the trade haul is unprecedented, but you cannot look at the Clippers gave up that for Paul George. They gave up that for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. You got the reigning Finals MVP and maybe the next best two-way wing in the league, a top 5 player and now also a top 15 player. That's the price of that, both on long-term deals.
And before you know it, the Clippers got both of their guys for the future. Brilliant moves by Uncle Dennis. I want to see if I can be a part of the family.
He was playing chess. Everyone else was playing checkers.
So it's not like it's bare bones there, Linda. There's still a foundation there. And yes, it costs you Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. And I think you...
Yes, it costs you those guys. Now listen to what he says next.
There, and yes, it costs you Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. And I think...
He brings up Danilo Gallinari.
When you're getting a player like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the picks are worth it.
Was they the favorite?
Wow, Bobby Marks, former GM. The picks are worth it.
In the West now?
I think you have to.
Leonard and Paul George, the picks are worth it.
Was they the favorite in the West now?
I think you have to give them the edge. I couldn't believe that anybody would come to me with a proposition that would say there's somebody better than the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But the Clippers were clearly a better team this year. And when you talked about them getting Kawhi Leonard, you only thought about him. But if you have Kawhi Leonard with Paul George and you have 2 stars on your team with the Los Angeles Clippers, with the depth that they have, with the coaching staff that they have, with the resources that they have, etc. I can't knock anybody right now who would think that the Clippers might very well be above the Lakers in the pecking order.
But right now, I think the Clippers are the best team in the league. I think for a few reasons. Number one, their team fits together better. At least right now, like we look at the Lakers and we kind of wonder, okay, is Boogie, does he even fit in today's game?
You cannot double Kawhi Leonard when Paul George is on the floor. So you got 2 guys who are the best possibly in their positions at times, one-on-one players that will get to play one-on-one. That in itself, that's what made Michael Jordan so great. He didn't have guys that you did double.
So I think this is a huge day for the Clippers organization as far as getting 2 marquee stars in their prime. A 2-time MVP in the finals in Kawhi Leonard being able to lead the charge and now kind of give Paul George a little tutelage when it comes to leading a team to a possible championship.
Kendrick Perkins, who has been pretty loud during this whole free agency process, said, "I love it. Happy for the LA Clippers and Doc Rivers for pulling this one off and kept it quiet the whole time. WTF happened in OKC? That's the real question."
WTF happened in OKC? That's the real question. They were literally blaming OKC for making the move.
WTF happened in OKC? That's the real question.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a great tandem. I mean, it sounds like a great tag team. And, I mean, now, immediately, I don't understand. I got to hear more as we go on about why Oklahoma City would be so accommodating.
I got to hear more about why Oklahoma City would be so accommodating. But sure, guys, let's all blame Lawrence Frank.
Got to hear more as we go on about why Oklahoma City would be so accommodating to the Clippers. For what? Was Paul George first team or second team All-NBA? And either way, we're talking about a top 10 player in the league this season, and now Oklahoma City doesn't have him to accommodate the Clippers. That's going to take some, digesting as we sort of filter through this the next couple of days. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, I mean,
it's weird. Nobody's bringing up how they shouldn't have gave up SGA. Why they give up SGA, or why they give up so many picks. It's weird. Nobody's saying that at the time. It's just crazy.
Yeah, why not? Who wouldn't want that? And it doesn't seem like you've given up the guts of it. You still got an ensemble around them.
So the point is, I'm giving the Clippers the edge because of number one defense. They're a much better defensive team than the Lakers.
No question.
Number two, they have a closer, and I'm not sure who closes for the Lakers.
That was a red alert sign. The Clippers would likely have to acquire a second star in order to land Kawhi, possibly using the war chest of trade assets they built up over this past year. And my reaction then and now is the same. There is no price that's too high for the Clippers in this scenario.
There is no price that's too high for the Clippers in this scenario. But sure, keep acting like they should have known SGA was going to turn into an MVP. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You make the right move and it doesn't work out. Was it a good process? Yes. You can't predict injuries. You can't predict a guy ending up being an MVP and the best player in the game happening. Everything that could have gone wrong for the Clippers in this trade did. It's unfortunate bad luck. But judging things based off of what happened after the fact, well, how the fuck does that help you? You have to judge things based on the information you had at the time of the trade. That's all that matters. That's what you have to work with. And nobody was saying that at the time. And if every GM, and they would have, in NBA history makes this move, then how can you blame Lawrence Frank for making it? I'm Adam Austin. You've been listening to Clippers Talk. Mic drop.